Packers are moving on. Aaron Rodgers has done it again.
Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help, and I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and today I'm embarking on the adventure of a 7-round mock draft for the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers have 12 picks this year, by far the most of any team, and by far I mean by like one or two, but this year's a little bit difficult because as I highlighted in a while back, about a month or two, of the needs of the Packers, right? There was like 8 of them. While we have always gone with this best player available strategy under Ted Thompson, and that's produced some great players, it's also produced some first-round flops. And so that being said, to kind of figure out what our new GM, Brian Goody McGootinter, is going to do, well, that's a little tricky. And so is he going to continue the Ted Thompson strategy of best player available because Ted Thompson is still going to be scouting, which is like what he loves to do? Or are we going to be trying to fit some needs, and are we going to potentially trade up and get some people that we need to fill the holes in our team? I don't know, but what I'm going to present to you now is the kind of best case scenario draft for the Packers, in that it's a little bit of a mix of, I think it's the best player on the board, and in addition, it's fulfilling some needs. And so, that being said, let's do this thing. All right, round numero uno at the number 14 spot. There's rumors that there could be as many as 7 quarterbacks going before the Packers pick at number 14. And I have to say, that would be incredible. You see guys like the Cardinals potentially trading up. You see guys like the Bills might be picking up some quarterbacks. Lots of people want quarterbacks. They're in high demand right now. And so the most amount of quarterbacks that go, the higher the number gets, the happier I get, because then those like top 10 defensive guys can just fall right into our lap. And so this would be best case scenario here. I'm going to say number 14, we get arguably the best cornerback in the draft, Denzel Ward. Why? Because this fits a really good need for me. I would be super duper happy about this, and I could see it actually happening considering the quarterback frenzy that's going on right now. Denzel Ward, we've talked about him numerous times on this show. Height is really like his only issue, but he ran a 4.32 30-yard dash. Guy sticks on people like butter. So I would love if we got this guy. He could be an immediate playmaker. We could sign him to a relatively cheap contract, just like we got Kevin King, and those two can tear it up together. That would be great, and that solves the biggest needs in our defense at the moment, and so that'd be great. Round 2, with the number 45th pick, I see us going defensive end because that's one of the other needs that the Packers need. They need a good pass rusher, and I see Sam Hubbard filling that role. Hubbard, 43 tackles and 7 sacks last season, ran a 4.78, so he's not the fastest guy, but he was able to swoop past offensive linemen pretty much with ease and get to the quarterback, and so I think he would be a great second rounder, and again, that fulfills another need because we do need a good quality defensive end. Round numero 3, with the number 76th pick, I see us going backfield again, but this time safety, and getting the 6-foot man, Justin Reed. Ran a 4.4 at the combine, 99 tackles and 5 picks. I'll take anybody who knows how to tackle, and the fact that he's getting 5 interceptions, that's not too bad either. Throw him in the back there with Clinton Dix, and boom! I like our safety core. So I think right off the bat, the first 3 picks are most likely going to be all on the defensive side of the ball. There was some potentials that you could go with an offensive guard in the second round, or a wide receiver, maybe second or third round. Like if Christian Kirk is still available in the second round, or a guy like Billy Price is still around, or Will Hernandez. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if the Packers went that way just to protect Aaron Rodgers or give him another weapon to throw to. But I think the immediate needs of our team are on the defensive side of the ball, and I see them addressing that with the first 3 picks. Now, after round 3, we have multiple picks in rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so while I'm going to just present this as if we're not trading, because that's a little bit too much to even try to predict, I actually wouldn't, considering how Mr. Goody McGootenters is getting like really, really aggressive at least in free agency. Looks like he's ready to make some moves. I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up trading up. And so, we could get into the third round again if the Packers are really high on somebody, or we can get another fourth round pick, considering we have so many picks here in this year's draft. So, with that being said, if we don't trade, the 101st pick of the draft in round 4, I see Auden Tate, who's a wide receiver. Now, if you look at his stats, he's 4.68 for a 40-yard dash, which is pretty abysmal. He's slow, guys. He's really, really slow. So, Tom, why are you picking him in the 4th round with the first pick of the 4th round that we got from the Browns? Well, he's 6'5". That's a big man. And so he would be an amazing red zone target if Rodgers can make him half the receiver that Jordy Nelson was making sideline catches. This guy's going to be disruptive. He's obviously not going to be a speedster, but that's not what he's supposed to do at 6'5". And so I think that he would be a great target for Aaron Rodgers, and it'd make him happy, another big man that he could throw the ball to. A little back shoulder into the end zone. Who doesn't want to see that? The 133rd pick, continuing in round 4, I see the Packers going with guard, picking up Frank Ragnow. The reason why I think this guy's going to drop and potentially fall into the Packers' lap at pick 133 in the 4th round is that he is coming off a high ankle sprain. He needed surgery, so he didn't really play last season. But the first 2 seasons that he did play, he didn't allow a single sack. So it's a gamble, taking a risk on a guy, but if you could get him pre-injury and he can continue that, I think this guy would be a great addition for us, and he'd be a hell of a pickup. He'd be a steal in the 4th round. Now, we have 3 picks in round number 5. This is where you're just like, you're throwing darts and going like, hopefully these guys, return some value here. But that's what the Packers are known for, right? Like going in the middle of the rounds, picking up those guys that could really make an addition to the team. Look at David Bakhtiari, for example. So let's see what happens. Round 5, pick 138. I see them going with Oren Burke, who's an offensive linebacker. He ran a 4.59, 82 tackles, a pick in 2017. I like the way this guy plays. I like the way that he tackles. He looks aggressive, and we need linebackers because Clay Matthews, listen, I love Clay, but I don't know how much longer he's got left on the Green Bay Packers. This may be his last season, and we need to shore up that position, which I think we'll do again with an inside linebacker with the 172nd pick with Micah Kiser. Ran a 4.66, 145 tackles. While he wasn't that great in coverage, the guy knows how to blitz. He was dangerous. He's got to the quarterback, and so I think that with Pettin, they could use him. He could fit the scheme pretty well. With the 174th pick, just 2 picks after the last one, I see the Packers going to offense again with Ryan Izzo. Now, this guy is not fast. He is not a Jimmy Graham. He's not a guy who, you're really looking to get him as a receiver. But Jimmy Graham don't block for crap. This guy is a great run blocker. So if we can pick him up right near the middle of the 5th round, I think he fills a need of the team. And, he fills that tight end spot. I've seen the Packers potentially draft a tight end before this, but I don't see us wasting a pick on that, considering we just picked up Jimmy Graham and signed him to a decently lengthy contract. And so with that being said, if we're going tight end, I would see it happening in the later rounds. We got 2 round 6 picks, the 186th and 207th pick. And so with 186, I see us going cornerback again. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 2, maybe even 3 cornerbacks. But this guy, DJ Reed, ran a 4.51. Had 4 picks. Again, not amazing. I mean, we are in the 6th round, guys, but had about 14.9 yards average for a punt return. He was great on special teams, and so that's usually how these guys slip in and get spots on the team. You look at a Jeff Janis kind of player, not a great route runner. Obviously, he had the Hail Mary in Arizona, but if this guy can make an impact on special teams, I mean, why not? And he could potentially fill a need in cornerback. With the 207th pick, I see us going with Greg Senat, who is an offensive tackle. He's super duper skinny, needs to work on his anchoring, but he's a good run blocker. Again, it would be a developmental guy. You put him behind that offensive line, at least giving them some depth. Round 7, I see us going offense again. Doris Fountain. This is like a shot in the dark guy. He would be like an ultimate sleeper. He didn't get an invite to the combine. He had a decent year. He was explosive. When they had to make plays, he did. So, it would kind of just be let's see what happens. It's the 232nd pick. Why not? In round 7. So why not? Just add another wide receiver to the mix and see if the kid can play. And then the final pick, at number 239 in the 7th round, Akeem Coleman, defensive end. He had 57 tackles, 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles last season alone. So you're probably like, Tom, how come he's not higher? Guy is slow as hell. He ran a 4.84. So he is a very, very slow guy, which is, I know we don't really want that, but I mean, if he can get to the quarterback a little bit and kind of maybe lose some weight and speed up a little bit, you know, he could be a playmaker. And again, if we could get any playmakers in round 6 or 7, I'd be pretty happy with that. And so that's my 7-round mock draft. And I think I feel like we're going defense for the majority of our picks. Obviously, we'll give Aaron Rodgers some protection, and I think we'll give him somebody to throw to, whether that's in tight end or wide receivers. The Packers usually pick at least 1 or 2 wide receivers per draft. And so that's where I see us going with this, really fulfilling some needs and God, hopefully fixing up that defense, because that's the thing that gives me the most hesitation this season. But let me know what you think. Have you heard of these guys before? Do you agree with my picks, or am I completely off and you're like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about? Let me know in the comments down below. In addition, you have until Tuesday to vote for the greatest Packers player of all time. Next week will be the final matchup, so we'll see how that pans out. So we'll do that on Tuesday. I'll close the voting, and we will pick it up from there, and I'll announce the winners and the final matchup on Tuesday. Then for draft time, thankfully, there will be no more mock drafts for anybody come next Thursday. Next Thursday, we'll be here for the draft. I'm going to be trying to live stream it. If not, there'll be a video directly after the Packers pick in the first round. We'll have coverage on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the draft. So I will fulfill all your draft needs. All of them. Not my husbandly needs to my wife, but draft needs. I got you, random internet strangers. I got you. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on the Twitter and the Instagram and the Facebook. You could also check out Tom Grossi Comedy at the Patreon. I always appreciate any support and helping me with the show so I can move out of my basement. But you didn't hear that. You could check out Packcast, P-A-C-K-A-S-T, which is this show. Obviously, we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and of course here on the YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. I, for one, am so happy to not do mock drafts anymore because, good God, these take forever to research every single person ever. I'm Tom Grossi. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, go Pack Go.